Hello, hello. And here we are in a moment in time. And I feel like, the more that we just are really embracing these moments right here and really experiencing it with the full fullness of our being, really more and more is revealed effortlessly. And so today I'm really excited to connect with Merlin because Merlin and I have been on a journey. We're all on a journey. And like the journey that we have been on is really been leading us back to this ease, this grace, this knowingness of who we truly are at the core level and living and breathing and being that to our fullest in every moment. So thanks, Merlin, for showing up here in this space in this moment.
Thank you for having me and sharing space with me as well. I'm very excited. Definitely has been this just a time of just living, allowing myself to live lately and just experience and just exude my beingness and just allow myself to just experience human and see what that looks like. And then the feedback from just the people that I'm around, they're like, you're just so it's been confidence has been something that's been reflected. Like you're just so like, yes, Landon, you're just so confident and like work it, walk, yes. And then other ones, it's like you just um are in your uniqueness and you're just so truthful and authentic. And then so I hear it, and in them sharing that, I can feel that honest reflection from them when in prior conversations it could be just a bit more surface level or a bit more untapped potential there. And so having them even just witness me, it's like, oh, thank you for witnessing me, but also wow, you're opening up to now understanding your own authenticity and how to show up in your own self. And it's just been really fun, mixed with
Ah,
like ebbs and flows. But yeah.
but I really truly believe that, those ebbs and flows are so rich in soil and just like nutrients that we really truly desire to actually take us to our next level, and
Mm,
really embodying that wisdom. So it's like when we're in these shadow parts or we're in this discomfort, it's like, oh my gosh, now the more that I can change my perspective or I can see wait, if everything is happening for me, what is the external reflecting in me that now I can dive deeper? And that's the one thing that I've gotten to witness with you is that you have been really understanding that of oh my gosh, I don't like this. And it's like, how can I now feel this, right? Feel what it is that I'm experiencing from the external. And then now really diving within myself and wait, hold on, who am I, beyond this character that I'm playing? I am a part of a really, really big universal plan. And so already everything is being orchestrated for me. And so now that I'm coming back to self, I'm coming back to that focus. It is really opening up to now you're getting to witness, people seeing that or reflecting what it is that you truly want because now you're in alignment in the body, because you were witnessing yourself in these experiences in the discomfort.
hmm absolutely. And just for I guess, cool. hmm, there's something about my time in Washington that wants to come about um, because it was very much like a just a shattering of the version of myself that I was for the last few years. Like, oh, I was the tarot reader, I was the astrology person, I was the movement guide, and up there I was really just it was childhood home, near family, that type of stuff. And so it was like, oh, this some of these people are open to like, who are you now? What are you feeling? What's going on? But then others is very much like, oh, well, you did this when you were 16. And I'm like, oh, cool. That doesn't mean that's who I am anymore. So it was very intriguing, and it got me to be a bit more curious about living even as the person that I am. It's like, oh, the person that I was so attached to, okay, I want to do this, and this is what I'm doing with my life, and I want to do this. And I'm like, okay, that was 16 to like 20-ish, and now that from like 20 to like 25, I was in a different kind of phase. And then moving on from there, it's like every phase that I've been through, I've uncovered something new and something more and something just like exudes beauty through me. And now I'm in this period of like everything getting called back and calling back and calling back. And how can I use my 16-year-old dance classes as the 26-year-old that I am? And or how can I use the astrology reader that I was, and how does that play in? Not so much as I'm an astrology reader and let me read your chart, blah, blah, blah. And it's more of just oh, this is just how I live my life now. Like, oh, the 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 moon is the moon was just full in Scorpio. Um, and it's not even me just like looking and dissecting the astrology charts anymore. It's just like, oh, when I need to be aware of what the astrology is doing, it comes across my field of awareness. And so it's just been this really interesting, like, um, playful field with the universe of just like, oh, I just get to exist and I just get to rest. My projectorness has just loved the rest that I have prioritized. Um, and even moving forward of I just moved back not like 2 weeks ago, and I'm co-facilitating a workshop on Sunday, and I'm speaking at a panel on Monday, and I have just things that are coming up, and it's just because like these people, you meet people, and this is something that I'm hoping to convey over the next, I don't even know, but that there's a call for people to be safe spaces, and not necessarily for safe spaces to be created, but the essence of people to be compassion and not reaction. And so to have that like listening ear and just have that sense of stillness and safety, and just you can feel that when you are either approach someone or are approached by someone, or even just in the field of someone that exudes compassion or it exudes a listening ear or safety, and they're not going to use it to talk bad about you. They're not going to use it as ammunition against you. They're there to be a resource and to be that safe space and to hold that space, because how else are we going to progress into love, into compassion, into whatever the new paradigm, new earth, new dimensionality is, if we don't first start with where we're at and adjust the approach? Because it's very much been this approach of, I have a lot going on, I'm stressed, I'm this, I'm that, I don't have this, I don't have that, I need more of this, that's very self. And yes, the self is important, but it not but the self is important, and at the same time the I am is important. And so the self being me, Landon, and then the I am being something greater, the source connectedness to higher power. And it's how can I live as the self? How can I live as I am, as God's source energy, while being the individual, while being the self? And it's been this very interesting, like, just playfulness, really. And as I've been in that energy and that flow, this my projectorness has been coming out for a lot of just connections. Even right now, I'm like, I'm speaking and I'm speaking a lot, and it feels like we haven't connected in forever. But I'm just acknowledging that I have words and I take up space, and I'm allowed to speak, and I'm allowed to be the guide, and people are starting to actively see me in this role because I'm seeing me in this role, and I'm allowing myself to vocalize. Even yesterday, it was like I was on a group call to put together how the workshop that we're getting towards this coming Sunday. And there's like 6 people involved with it. And so we were like throwing ideas out, but then my I didn't realize that this doesn't happen for everyone. But as people are throwing out ideas, my brain and my being puts things in an order, like because we're planning a workshop. So it's like I'm putting things in order and then I'm speaking on it, and then it nears the end and I'm like, we haven't really talked about the order of the workshop. And they're like, oh, well, do you have? And I'm like, oh, here you go. It's just like, here you go. And so, and then they're like, oh, well, let's just take some time. And so it's like me being in my guidance and being in my projectorness, which I say projectorness being the human design and the just my uniqueness, really. Like, oh, I have this is how my brain, my being is working at this moment. And so let me just share this. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if it needs to be tweaked, but this is the guidance that I see. This is the advice that I see. And in that we move on. And because it's I love that I'm discovering this space because I still approach it with that compassionate mindset of this is an opportunity. This is how I see this unfolding. And here's a layout, here's an outline, but you can morph and shift and do whatever you want. But this is the guidance that I have. And I put it in that space of collaboration and compassion of this is what I see, this is my experience, this is what I'm envisioning, but then it comes through in so many other ways, and then it's received in a more like, oh, I have a voice too then, and what if we did this? And so for me, sharing from my guidance and my uniqueness, it's received in a way that's like, oh, you're not silencing me and telling me what to do. You're not bossing me around. This is like collaborative leadership. And it's very interesting to even be able to say that word like, oh, I'm exuding a leader quality here, and I'm gifting wisdom here when prior me would be like, I don't know if I can even use that word. I don't know if I can associate myself with wisdom, myself with leadership, myself with these qualities. But now it's like, oh, duh. So it's been a fun time for sure. Definitely lots going on and definitely lots processing. And I feel like everybody's feeling all the emotions, all of the energies going on, especially with the portal that's been happening. I say portal like it's a singular entity, but that's stuff that's going on. Um, but even then, I'm very grateful for the life that I'm living and that the people that I'm connecting with are living because we have the spaciousness to be in this space, both mentally, emotionally, and physically, where a lot of people aren't. Um, so yeah, very grateful.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment and just feel, the words that you're speaking because it really, really is incredible. Like when we can take this time to really discover ourselves, like our uniqueness. We came out with all these, like, it's like we've been growing together, and it's really amazing to see like your growth and then even witness my growth, even witnessing your growth, and again, it's showing that like when we support one another, when we support ourselves first, like we're supporting another, like because I'm doing the work, you're doing the work, like we're constantly on the same path, of least resistance, where all of a sudden we just, maybe in another moment we're like, oh, this isn't working out. Like, and then the moment that we just are like, whatever, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden every single thing is working out because it's like, it's new for us, like you as a projector, like you're a guide, like I've learned so much detail experience from you that now I can apply in my own work and the things that I'm creating and the proposals that, like whatever it is that I'm meant to do in this business world, it's like all of a sudden now, like by you being the guide that you are, it's like me tapping into my uniqueness, and now all of these things are flowing in. And so that's why we say, like when you know quantum physics, when you know human design, when you take these moments to really analyze and question, why am I having this thought? Like, where is this coming from, like in my body, and when you can actually recognize and realize that the body is just storing, things from the past, that we can actually move on and, really like up level to like these crystalline beings that, we came here to be in this moment. So it
Mm.
is just so like so cool that we're both having these incredible experiences that are leading us to getting to be leaders, that people are now resonating with things that we said because we continued the journey. It wasn't like at some point we might have been like, oh, I need this shiny thing, but now it's like, oh no, like if it is meant for me, it will be, and I don't have to chase anything. Everything comes to me. If I need money, boom, it's here. It's just an energy, and we're getting to recognize that in the body. And the more that we feel that in the body, we trust more. We trust in this reality. We trust in this moment that everything is working out. And these energies that are coming in, like with the solar eclipse and with the full moon and all Pluto and Jupiter and Uranus, and like so much is, going on. And when we look at that, and then in Taurus, and it's grounding, it's like bringing all of these ideas and this energy into the physical. And so, if we haven't been doing the work, if we have no idea what's going on, and all of a sudden we're getting really triggered, this is your opportunity to actually look at that at a deeper level and really create space that's going to open your heart and open your heart and open your heart until like now it's like, oh my gosh, I can't help but have compassion because whoo, I just went through this intensity that now has allowed me to be more grateful. And so this is what this journey of getting to be in the present moment is all about. It is a journey. And the more that we just detach from needing to know, like, I mean, I
Hmm.
literally swam my fastest breaststroke. And it was like the first time that I felt like I did not care in the body. Like, and a lot of times it's like when you are in the mind and you're like, oh, like I'm not attached, but then like there's a part of your body that is attached, and it's like you're like, oh, I don't know, and so then there's this like just integration that you get to work with your mind and body and really like tuning in, like, huh, I wonder why I'm attached in this moment. And there is a part of my body that was actually measuring myself with whatever the outcome would be. And so now if I'm a success already, like I've already succeeded. I've done exactly everything I need to do, and I already start feeling that in the moment. All of a sudden, it's like I've already succeeded. So I don't care now about the outcome. The outcome can be whatever the outcome is. And then starting to even see what can happen in another moment where you might become attached because now you need to have this lesson integrated in the body one more time, and then you would create a different reality. But like ultimately, it really is about getting to learn these lessons in the body and being able to hold, that frequency of love, even in these moments of discomfort, which can be completely fun and not fun, at
Hmm.
times.
I've been learning the power of silence, especially in uncomfortable situations. I've been learning the not in a sense of gauging if I'm going to be received or not, but learning and uh not scoring, but just because it's awareness really of am I going to be received here if I speak? Because I have powerful words to say and I have things to be said and I have things to be heard. But if it's not going to be heard, then perhaps it's just for me. Or perhaps this isn't the space that I meant to share it in. And perhaps this moment is just for me to experience, which that lesson has been um, kind of been a revolving door for me since like 2021 of, oh, this I don't have to share about this. I can just experience this and I can just allow myself to be here. But I love that you touched on the curiosity aspect, especially with going through intensity. Um, that we've been going through and that we will go through. Right now, it seems like it's kind of like mellowed out just a little bit collectively. But it definitely is going to amp up in the coming months. It's just been it's that curiosity though. And when we talk about the work getting done, this is something that I've been learning is that I don't need my journal to be with me at all times. I don't need my tarot cards to be with me at all times. I don't need the crystals, the things. And I've known that I don't need all the gimmicks. Um, I know it helps, and I know, especially starting out, it's very helpful to bring in that awareness of, oh, I'm going to hold an amethyst today because I want to strengthen my intuition. Oh, I want to hold a moonstone because I want to get connected with my feminine energy, my mother energy. I want to pull a card today because I feel like there's something that I'm not seeing that maybe my cards will show me. Just like these little things of training our awareness and training our intuition, but then after a certain not like you reach a certain level, but after there's a certain level of comfort with ourselves and our intuition, I've been learning that I don't that the work becomes a game and the work becomes playful. And especially over these last few months, it's been, oh, so I'm not in spaces where people are necessarily going to hear me. So this is again my experience. And so then, okay, well, why don't I feel like contributing to this conversation? Why don't I feel like that person heard me when I said something? Why don't I feel like the joke that that person said, why did that irk me? Why did this come across strange to me? Why did this feel unsafe to me? And so then it goes into like this constant questioning. And that's where I think back to like my critical thinking class in college, and they're like, question everything. Versus in high school, they're like, do what you're told. College, given it was a critical thinking class, so like you have to think in this class. So you have to have your own opinion. So you have to be doing that process. But from then, it's like, oh, this is just playful. And the work that I'm doing is just my inner workings. And it's the awareness of what's going on the inside that is the work, at least from what I'm experiencing and the perspective that I hold right now. Given the subconscious alchemy that I've been doing, very valid. The astrology readings, very helpful. The tarot readings, very helpful. All the things, but the work itself is an individual basis of questioning what am I experiencing? Why am I experiencing it? Do I want to continue experiencing it? How can I either shift or amplify this experience? And from there, it's like, oh, the universe works different. It works different. And that's been something else on my mind of what if when we were children. We pop out of the womb and instead of the doctors and parents saying, it's a boy, it's a girl, they say, wow, this is a gifted child. They say, wow, this is a powerful being. And from that being our first introduction, moving into learning obviously how to walk and do all the human things, but then learning about the psychic gifts and the more esoteric gifts. And those can start manifesting, uh, I would say very, very young. For me, I think my first memory would be like 4. Just knowing that I could see auras and I could see energy, at least the textures of it. Um, but instead of gaslighting myself with my inner dialogue that I've been programmed with, that's how I experienced it in this timeline, in this life. What if during that moment we were, oh, what are your gifts? How are you experiencing? And what if the parents and the teachers and everybody was more curious of what the child was experiencing instead of us implementing, this is what you need to know. You need to know your maths, you need to know your science, you need to know your English, you need to know how to write, you need to know how to read. Yes, given, valid, but also, what if we were taught that we are divine beings, limitless beings, infinite beings with with joys. I had this reflection today that I don't quite like the words gifts and abilities currently. I really like reframing it in the terminology of joys. Like, oh, what are my joy? How do I want to live my joys today? What is my joy? What joy is trying to come through me today? And so like today it was spinning color guard. Yesterday it was binge watching Netflix. The day before that it was doing a stretchy stretch. The day before that it was diving into the cards. The day before that it was like there's all sorts of joys. And I think it's the joy and the life that exudes through the activity that is then classified as the gift. But the essence of the gifts is joy or curiosity. And so it's the emotion behind the things that we're doing is very interesting right now.
But I just like love like I mean the conversation how it has unfolded because it really like we both like pulled cards, and what I feel with what we're sharing is like literally the words that were just coming through were exactly, what it would be that we would experience. So we keep talking about unique gifts. So that would be the first one to literally, throw out again. And it's like, but it looks like in this, piece here, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm emanating joy. So again, it's like whatever these gifts are, like getting to like be in joy and knowing that by being in joy, like that is supporting you in this moment, and that by you getting supported we're all supported in that moment. And then these two flew out the star seer. So again, like it's like we are star children. We came here to embody these light codes and these light beings that we are, and the more that we embrace that, we can actually step more fully into whatever it is that we want to experience. And then the last one for this deck, it would be reclaim your energy. So again, it's like, yeah, boom, your unique gifts, your star seer, your star child, and reclaim it. Reclaim that you are here to be this divine blueprint, and you get to do it your way. And sometimes you might be like, oh my gosh, can I really do it this way? You can, because it's your beliefs that create your reality, in that way.
Mhm.
And then the mermaid one, which I thought was interesting, was breaking free. So
Mhm.
again, we're breaking out of these old patterns, we're shattering the old parts of ourselves, and we're really coming into the next one would be acceptance. We're
Mm.
coming in to accept ourselves. We're trusting in this process. We're knowing that, we are enough, and by breaking out of these old cycles and accepting where we are in this moment, we get to have patience and know that everything is happening in divine order and divine timing. So
Mhm.
I just think that that was so cool how they literally came out in an order of just already what we've been, sharing in this moment of like just becoming ourselves and really fully being that in this moment.
Mhm. As you were talking, you just talked about the divine, something about divine, and immediately just divine became an acronym for me because like we hear divine all the time. What the heck does divine mean? And so let me see if I can remember. I know it was started with drastically, D-I, drastically inventing drastic inner workings, necessity, and validating inner. What? How does this? I mean, I have to write it out. So it was very specific. Let me see. Divine. The D was drastic or drastically. The V was validating inner necessities, exquisitely. Exquisitely. What was the I? Now that's gonna bother me drastically. Inviting, validating, drastic, inspecting. No, drastically. I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna figure that out and then I'll send it to you.
Perfect.
But
We will, yeah.
the other thing was about the unique gifts about the joys because I haven't been in I wouldn't like the main emotion hasn't been joy for the prior months for a lot, for me at least, and for a lot of people I know. But it's that underlying sense of joy of I am so grateful and joyful that I have the depth to experience these emotions, that I have this moment to experience the joy that comes from me just living through the human experience. And so that's been really fun. And so even living our unique gifts and stemming from joy, I was watching a show the other day, um, and it had me crying, and after my time in Washington, it was just beautiful to have thawed so much. Given I cry a decent amount, just like let it out. But this one felt different. And in this moment, it was like, oh, I'm allowed to be in my emotions here. And I'm allowed, and how grateful I am to be in my emotions. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful moment of just like, I'm feeling such sadness, but like, wow, this is so beautiful. And I'm so joyful that I'm experiencing this. It's just, and that the duality of that moment simultaneous with such rawness, it was just like incredible. And I'm like, wow, this is, I guess, a gift. This is a joyous experience. It's just so incredible. So,
Oh, I love that so much. Well, do you want to wrap up with the cards that came through for you, and then any other things we want to leave everyone with our
hmm.
present moment message?
Which one? I have my decks out and they're waiting. They just said we want to be here, but not all. I think this one. Let's see which one. I feel like mostly everything. Let's see. This is the one that my guides will speak through the most.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, hello. Eight of Feathers. Courage and Solution. So this would be very similar to Eight of Swords. Um, in a traditional deck, it's a little mousy. And so I love when this one comes out because it speaks to the little things that we don't always see, we don't always recognize, but the beauty that's in them and the the validity of their experience as well as our own, seeing the beauty in the crickets, in the trees, in the bushes, and also being courageous enough to experience our own smallness and our own largeness and seeing ourselves as small because we are in this moment human beings living on a rock floating through space, and yet we are also infinite beings. So like having that dichotomy there and allowing ourselves to experience that takes courage and it takes bravery because we can shut off and we can shut down and we can live this life as a robot if we want to. But having that courage to really move forward will push us forward and it will help things move a bit faster and we'll be able to slice through reality a bit more clearer because we're moving with courage and that knowingness that I am not just myself, I am my ancestors, I am my guides, I am an infinite source of all creation. Um, but I am also a human. So,
Oh, I
yeah.
love that. Like that, I mean, again, it like rounds off, everything that we were talking about today, and
Mhm.
really like how is it that we're gonna step into our fullest self, and it's like being with our joy and seeing it and being with whatever we're experiencing and know that we can shift our perspective in any moment and allowing all of these feelings and emotions and things to be simultaneously felt. And it's like this beautiful gift that we're getting to walk in these bodies and be here in these moments. And so I'm just so grateful for this amazing conversation that,
Mm-hmm.
we just set out like, hey, we're going to be present, and boom, it would be exactly what it is that we are experiencing in this moment and what's to come for us all.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Such magic.
Yay, cool. Well, thank you,
Mm.
thank you, thank you. And until another moment, keep up the great work, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.